Dreamscape presents The Shadow Party, How George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and Sixties radicals seized control of the Democratic Party, by David Horowitz and Richard Poe, narrated by Gregg Rizzo. Introduction. The war in Iraq marks a new era in America's political life. Never previously has one of America's two major political parties attacked the sitting president and wartime commander-in-chief with a ferocity manifested by leaders of the Democratic Party today. Never before has the country been so divided in the early stages of a war on foreign soil. Bipartisanship in wartime has been a hallmark of American foreign policy since the Second World War. Republicans displayed it when President Clinton went to war in Bosnia and Kosovo. Wars conducted without congressional authorization or UN approval, but which Republican leaders nonetheless supported. Such bipartisanship is strikingly absent in America's war in Iraq. It has been undone by a Democratic leadership committed to more radical goals. The Democrats' movement to the political left is not new. Progressive activists have been carrying out a broad-ranging infiltration of American political and cultural institutions for 40 years. Now the effects of that infiltration can be seen in the inability of America's political leaders to form a united front against a clear military threat from abroad. This book is about the radical forces which are undermining American unity. It identifies the radical leaders and explains their strategy. These activists are organized in two distinct movements, one exerting pressure from below, the other exerting pressure from above. In a 1957 tract, Czech Communist Party theoretician Jan Kozak explained how a small number of communists managed to gain power in Czechoslovakia through parliamentary maneuvers. The trick was to exert pressure for radical change from two directions simultaneously, from the upper levels of government and from provocateurs in the streets. Kozak called this tactic pressure from above and below. One way to exert pressure from below, as Kozak explained, was to fill the streets with rioters, strikers, and protesters, thus creating the illusion of a widespread clamor for change from the grassroots. Radicals in the government would then exert pressure from above, enacting new laws on the pretext of appeasing the protesters in the street, even though the protesters, or at least their leaders, were themselves part of the plot. The majority of the people would have no idea what was going on. Squeezed from above and below, most would sink into apathy and despair, believing they were hopelessly outnumbered by the radicals, even though they were not. Thus could a radical minority impose its will on a moderate majority, even under a democratic parliamentary system.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?